Rotation is mainly caused by the left foot, and our fancy term is called AP forces, which means we push from the ball of the foot back to the heel. Do sort of a split stance like this, lean forwards and then lift your toes up. You will feel that pressure straight away. You can see it right there. The pressure's gone right into the ball of your foot. And the key thing that I'd like you guys just to pay attention to is what my feet are doing. So you can see I'm having this nice fluid movement, and I start to shift before my arms finish the backswing.
Watch when he does the move. Look at how open his pelvis and rib cage gets.
Notice the height of Eric's head as he goes. So you see how you've dipped down there?
Yeah.
It's okay to dip down because now you've got that platform to be able to push up. What I've done is I've placed an alignment stick about a foot behind Eric's left glute. Now the key feeling I want you to have is as you push out from that ball of the foot, you want to be trying to close the space up between that left glute and the alignment stick.
Okay. Down into the lead toes, getting that back out of there. Down into it and then back out of it. Let's go ahead and try one, see if that stays up. Yeah, and that felt really good too.
Beautiful.
Hey guys, in today's video, we're gonna talk about 3 reasons why you can't rotate and how to fix them. Really cool concept in today's video that we haven't really covered much in our videos in the past. A couple of awesome drills. To my left, Mr. Giles Gill. Giles, thanks for coming out, man.
Thank you so much for having me, Eric.
Appreciate you. If you haven't checked out Giles' channel before, he's got an awesome YouTube channel. We'll link that in the description down below. So I watched a lot of your videos, which are awesome, by the way. And I really like some of the concepts of how you teach rotation. Certainly you and I as coaches, we get a lot of people who come in
all the time.
They say, hey, listen, I want to be able to rotate more. I'm really struggling with it. We've got 3 reasons why that might happen. We'll cover later on. But conceptually, in terms of how the feet work, the lead foot in particular, and the pressure in the feet, can you guide us through what you would take a student through if they wanted to increase their rotation?
Of course. I think the first thing is, like you mentioned, rotation comes from the feet. And this is a real misunderstanding, as a lot of people are trying to turn to the top and just turn their whole body open. But nowadays, with the latest technology, we can measure everything. And the one thing that we see is rotation is mainly caused by the left foot. And our fancy term is called AP forces, which means we push from the ball of the foot back to the heel. And it gets as simple as that. And one of the key things is learning how to time it, doing it in the right sequence, which we'll dive into in this video. But the key thing is understanding it comes from the feet.
Yeah. And so one of the things I like that you say in some of your videos, like if someone wants to get more rotation, that like the sooner, faster, harder they would do this movement, the more rotation they would get.
For sure. And I think something that a lot of golfers don't realize is when we start to shift back towards the target, is we actually do it before we finish the backswing.
Yeah.
So this is one way that allows us to get that earlier rotation, is we are pushing into the ball of the foot before we finish the backswing. So it's like having a 2-second head start in a 100-meter race.
Yeah.
So then from there, you're able to push from the ball of the foot into the heel. You can see naturally without thinking, I've already generated my rotation.
So let's say, are you warmed up enough to hit one?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Let's do like 1 or 2 rehearsals. Let's say like you're trying to feel it. Cool. I was like, okay, hey guys, I get it. Okay, I'm trying to kind of feel into the lead toes. Like, how would you feel it? When would you feel it? Let's go through some of that.
So for myself, the first key is we're not getting into the toes. And there's a really nice exercise I take my clients through, is if you want to feel what the ball of the foot feels like, do sort of a split stance like this, lean forwards and then lift your toes up. You will feel that pressure straight away. You can see it right there. The pressure's gone right into the ball of your foot.
That's good.
So that's the bit that we're trying to push from. Now, when I'm feeling it, I break it into 2 parts. So I'll take it back, first of all, to left arm parallel on the backswing, and I'll go to the top and back to left arm parallel, where I'm feeling the pressure just amplify underneath that ball of the foot. Like you're standing on a scale, you push your foot down, number spikes.
Yep.
Then from there, once I've done that, and that gives me time to get my arms in front of me, then from there is go time. Then I'll push from the ball of the foot to the heel. The harder I do that, the more I do that, the more rotation I'm going to get.
Yeah.
So I'll even hit some little just clips on maybe 50, 60 yards where I go, right, left arm parallel, I'll go ball of the foot, and then I'll come down into the heel. Yeah. And it'll look a little bit like this. And that's maybe gone a little bit further than 60 yards, but you can see it went nice and slow, and I was able to get that big rotation.
And when you're doing the pressing into the lead foot, and I know I'm sure it changes, you know, per golfer, but if we were going to give like a ballpark range, you know, let's say you kind of start, let's just keep it overly simple to say you're kind of 50-50-ish to start type of thing, pressuring your feet. When you get into that move, like how much pressure under the lead foot are we talking?
Great question. I would say we're about 80 to 90%.
Okay.
And I really feel like from here, I mean, you look at any other sport, if you're trying to sidestep someone, you're going to have a hell of a lot of pressure on that foot to be able to push off.
Yeah.
Now in golf, we're not pushing this way, like in maybe American football or rugby. We're pushing that left hip back and up. And that's the difference, is we're pushing away from the ball.
Okay.
And I think a really good swing thought for every golfer at home is, most golfers, when they're trying to turn, they don't know this. So they are closing the space up between themselves and the golf ball. Versus if you're trying to rotate, just think, I'm trying to push from the ball of the foot into the heel, but technically I'm trying to push my body away from the golf ball to give my arms the space to move into.
Yeah, it's like pushing into and out of, pushing away versus like a just let me quick twist my hips.
Like a twitch.
Yeah. And one other question with that. So we're kind of 80-ish, maybe 90, a lot into the lead foot. And then are we talking like for someone to feel that, like all of their pressure is in that spot? Is that the sensation?
Pretty much. Yeah, I feel like my left heel is just gently touching the ground there. So it's mainly in this foot, mainly in the ball of the foot, but very quickly. And the faster you do this, and this is what the best players in the world are amazing at, is the faster you go from there to the heel, that's your rotation.
Yeah, okay.
And when I finish my swing, I mean, if I hit one here for you, just notice where the pressure is in my follow through in that left foot.
Yeah.
So you can see there it's very much in that left heel. And I wish I could hit shots like that every time.
Yeah, well, you just need me. I'll be your caddy when you go play, no big deal. So I think that's some good details and feels. Maybe if you could do one or two rehearsals again, one more hit, just talking through what those feels are. Because when you're doing it, it looks like you're not afraid to exaggerate that to get the impact, right? To get the feeling of it.
100%. And I think we should treat rehearsal swings as a tool that we can over-exaggerate.
Yeah.
We're not trying to do it perfectly. We're trying to over-exaggerate.
Very good.
And the key thing that I'd like you guys just to pay attention to is what my feet are doing. So you can see I'm having this nice fluid movement, and I start to shift before my arms finish the backswing. You guys have got to make life easier for yourself. Kind of giving yourself that head start is going to get you into a much better position to then where you're able to push into the heel a lot quicker.
Yeah, I think that pushing into and out of that foot is a really key concept that we're saying, which is the piece that creates the rotation. Let's hit one more with that and then we'll pull our drill in.
Perfect. I always tell people, try and create rotation on ice.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very difficult because it comes from the feet.
Cool. Beautiful swings, obviously. Let's take a quick break. We'll bring our little yoga block in. We'll do our drill next. So Giles, we've got a little training tool that I've seen you use that I like a lot to help feel, right, that push and into and out of that lead foot. If you kind of talk us through how that works.
Yeah, so essentially I have a yoga wedge here. Something super simple, cost me a couple of quid off Amazon. There are loads of devices out there now. You can use force pedals, you can get a tennis ball, half-cut tennis ball, anything under that foot, just to sort of push off of.
Okay.
And the analogy I always like to use is, look at sprinters when they're in the blocks. They have a raised surface because it allows them to push harder. And in our golf swing, having a raised surface is going to help us with that. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to set up to the golf ball normally. We're then going to lift our left foot and slide this to where you can see the bottom of the yoga wedge is about halfway up my foot right there. So right in the middle part of my foot. Now from here, because I've got this yoga wedge at an angle and you can see it's matching my foot, I'm going to use this to really feel the pressure go into the yoga wedge and then allow me to push off of it to get the weight going back into the heel.
And you've got that foot flared out a little on purpose.
Yes, that helps me with the rotation. A lot of golfers will have that foot maybe toed in or even square, and that really restricts the hip turn. So if you are a golfer who feels tight in your hips, so especially nowadays, a lot of us are sat down, office jobs, driving a lot, our hips will get tighter. Flaring that foot out will help you with that rotation.
And Josh, can you do one more of those like that? I just want you guys to watch, like do the push into and out of. Watch when he does the move. Look at how open his pelvis and rib cage gets, right? So again, the whole point of this, the pushing in and out of, kind of do one, could you do like a pose like at impact from there? So as he gets out of that, look at how much that opens that pelvis and rib cage. So I just want to keep reiterating that what we're talking about doing is the thing that's going to create that rotation and the turn we're looking for.
This is also a great speed move.
Yeah.
If you're looking to increase speed, you're using your legs, you're using your big muscles.
Totally.
You're going to hit that ball a lot further.
Now, do you hit with that under there too?
Yeah. Okay. The thing is with this, you might get a little bit of slippage. It depends on sort of the material, but this is quite a sticky material, so it's not really going to slip.
Okay.
So I would go slow to start with, maybe 80%. I know this is not going to slip, so I'm going to go a little bit quicker. But again, I'm feeling myself push into that yoga wedge and out. The harder I do it, the earlier I do it, the faster I do it, the more I'm going to turn.
Love it.
So let's give it a rip.
Yeah, nice, man. That looks so good. I want to try it. Let me hop in there.
Go on, have a go.
I like that. And I think, you know, a lot of the golfers that come in to see us who are struggling with rotation for various reasons, who are really trying to do the twisting, I don't think a lot of golfers put a lot of attention on this. So I think for you guys that are watching, this is going to really help. Why don't I do one or two without this just to start to get the feel?
Yeah.
And then I'll bring that back in. So we're kind of saying like we're getting back to maybe left arm parallel-ish. Is that about right?
Yep, roughly left arm parallel. And then as you now go to the top and come down, you're feeling that pressure spike. So imagine you've got a scale under that foot, right under the ball of the foot. You're trying to spike that number as much as you can.
Push into and then out of.
100%. And the harder you push down, the higher that number spikes. What do you think that's going to create? More rotation, more speed, more push out. Exactly.
I like it. Okay, let me hit one like that. I'm pushing into, so I feel like a lot of pressure is working into my lead quad. My knee is kind of going over my toes there a little bit. And then I'm going to push back and away like that left hip up and out. Okay. Let me go ahead and do one. I'll do one kind of like 70% speed here. Push into and then out of. Yeah, that felt nice.
Amazing. If you drag another ball across, let me grab you the ball, and you do that rehearsal swing and just pause once you feel that pressure is really high under the foot. Notice here how Eric's managed to pull his arms down in front of him. You haven't left your arms all the way back up here.
Yeah.
Because we need our arms in front of us. You can see this elbow's moving in front of his seam line here. So now you're in the position, I call this the go zone. Now you can push out and you can just let that club go as hard as you want.
Versus me having to try to make up for something.
As soon as your arms get stuck behind you, you're going to have to throw your arms, slow your rotation. You're not in the go zone.
Yeah, okay. I want to do one more like that. I'll put that block under. So here, kind of into, out of. Yeah, I definitely feel the pressure in my lead quad, my kneecap kind of over my left toes, push down into and then out of. Yeah, those are very solid.
The sound on that.
Yeah, I like those. 70% meant like 90 actually. So if I put the block in there, let me do this here. And you said,
I was going to say, if that's your 70%, I don't
yeah, that was, no, I lied. That was a fib. So when I take my setup here, if they don't have a yoga block, you said like a cut in half tennis ball.
I've got students at home who have just cut a tennis ball in half. Anything really, even if you can grab a little piece of wood, just at home if you're doing rehearsal swings, just something just to raise that foot up and have a platform to push into.
Yeah, just kind of like exaggerates the feel a little bit more compared to normal.
Yeah. As soon as we push off a raised surface, we can always amplify how much we push into it. Nice.
Yeah, and so like when I'm doing this too, you know, I think with us as coaches, we're comfortable with feeling something a lot. When you guys are doing this at home, in the beginning, like Giles said earlier, like you'd probably be better off over exaggerating this than under exaggerating here.
If you do a rehearsal swing for me quickly, if you come back to setup, one key thing I just want to point is just notice the height of Eric's head as he goes. So you see how you've dipped down there?
Yeah.
It's okay to dip down because now you've got that platform to be able to push up.
And in a real swing, I'm probably not going to do it that much.
No.
Yeah.
But
as a feel.
we will see golfers lower and come up.
Yeah.
But I see so many people scared of going down.
Totally.
But we've got to be able to generate shaft lean. We've got to be able to generate power. That's how we're going to do it.
And most golfers we see, they probably go up right away too much.
Straight away.
Yeah, so a little bit of lowering there would be pretty
100%.
good. Okay, into and out of. Kind of pressure into the quad, into and out. Let's try and actually go 70% here. Yeah, there's another nice one. I can certainly feel the effects of the pushing into. I think let's just add one little layer. We'll take a quick break. We'll do one little layer with the object behind the hip here. One of the other things, Giles, you like to do, kind of talk us through the object behind for me to feel like I push into?
For sure. I think when it comes to rotation, we've got to keep it simple. And that is enough for our brains to manage in terms of a concept. But if I get you to set up to the golf ball here, what I've done is I've placed an alignment stick about a foot behind Eric's left glute. Now, the key feeling I want you to have is as you push out from that ball of the foot, you want to be trying to close the space up between that left glute and the alignment stick.
Okay.
Now you can see here, you're not even getting close to touching it, but it's a feeling. It gives you that stretch right there, and it pushes the pressure back into the heel.
I like that. Let's go ahead and give that a go, 1 or 2 rehearsals. So down into the lead toes, getting that back out of there, down into it, and then back out of it. Let's go ahead and try one, see if that stays up. Yeah, and that felt really good too.
Beautiful. And was that swing thought there, did it just help you encourage that movement going back to the heel?
Totally. I think, you know, if I really push into the ball of that lead foot, a lot of that I get for free, feels like, which is the point. For sure helps me with a sensation of me pushing that hip up and back and out of the way. And again, when we do those motions, that's the look we're all looking for from down the line. We're like, you see that rotation.
Yeah, of course. And this is where just something as simple as this, you can even imagine out on the golf course, this is a fantastic swing thought for you to have. Because sometimes focusing on the foot when you're out on the course is too much.
Yeah.
If you watch Eric hit here, he can just have that thought of, right, I'm closing that left hip, the space between it and that alignment stick up. And you can imagine somebody's got a golf bag behind you, somebody standing behind you on the golf course. It's just a really simple swing thought.
I love that. Let's, in case you guys are doing this, because I think that's really, really good one there, dude. If someone's doing these things and they're struggling with rotation, right? There's maybe 3, kind of in a quick style for them, just to confirm, 3 of the things that we're always looking for: posture, shaft angle, right, being too steep, and club face.
So these are kind of our root cause issues. So I would always say fix the root cause first before you try and rotate, but you can kind of go the other way. If you're doing this and you're struggling to rotate, here are your 3 root cause issues. The first one is posture. So you could be either too far away and leaning on your toes, you could be too close and sat back on your heels, or you could have a position where there's a lot of curvature to that lower back. That's going to make rotation very difficult. You're going to early extend to get back to balance. The second one is an open club face. Now, in order for us to turn, we're going to have shaft lean. Shaft lean in itself opens up the face. So if we already have the face open, our bodies are going to throw the angles out, cause us to stand up from there, no rotation. And the final one is the steep shaft. So in itself, rotation is going to pull the club in front of us. So we've got to make sure that that shaft isn't coming down steep, because we're going to have to stand up and drop it late to get it to the ball. So we want it coming down a little bit shallower. That then pairs up beautifully with rotation.
Yeah, very good. So if you guys are struggling, very well done.
Thank you, man.
If you guys are struggling with getting rotation and you're doing the drills that we talked about, those would be 3 really big areas to look at. I would say when I'm coaching, conservatively, 80+% of players who struggle with rotation struggle with one of those 3, right? At least. So it's very rare that someone would be like, oh, you've got all these things really good. Your setup's really good. The shaft's good. The face good. You just happen to not rotate. That's rare. There's usually an issue earlier on. I really enjoyed that. That was awesome, man.
Thank you so much, Eric. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you. We're going to put Giles' channel, put the link in the description down below. Go check that out. And stay tuned. In our next video, we're going to have more together here in a little bit.